Welcome back everyone to another Origin Spotlight for Project Stevoirum. Today we're taking a look at the water element who is ruled by Aquata, the goddess of the sea. I decided to delay this upload so I could release it on October 29th at this exact time so we can be a part of Mr. Beast's Team Seas challenge. Team Seas is a secret campaign run by Mr. Beast and his team. They released an unlisted videos to a bunch of big creators and it slowly trickled down to little ol' me. Mr. Beast wants to raise $30 million to get 30 million pounds of plastic out of the ocean. They mentioned in their campaign video all the stuff you can do to help direct people to teamseas.org to donate, so this is what I'm doing. My channel is pretty much completely based around Minecraft, but more recently it's been about my mod pack Stevoirum. In Stevoirum, there's a bunch of different gods, and each god controls a different element. Today's video, of course, is going to be based around the goddess of the sea, Aquata. Fitting, right? But I feel like that's not enough. I live in Ontario, Canada, near the southern part, which doesn't really have access to any type of sea or ocean. However, Canada has lakes. Millions of lakes. I live near a river that feeds to Lake Ontario, one of Canada's biggest freshwater lakes, so I decided to spend my Sunday morning cleaning up trash around the rivers and ponds in my area. Unfortunately for me, the area is pretty well catered. In the first 30 minutes, I didn't see a single piece of trash. I did see a baby beaver though, so that was pretty cute. After walking around for a little bit longer, I found some trash near some duck ponds, so I started to pick up all the trash that I could possibly find in that area. I did the entire path along the river and ended up with about a pound of trash, mainly thanks to a water bottle I found that had some mysterious red liquid in it. I kinda thought it was freakishly close to what blood looks like, so I'm not gonna show a picture of it just in case YouTube flags the video, but it was disgusting and it smelled terrible. I still felt it wasn't enough. So for every 1,000 likes this video gets, I will donate $50 to teamseas.org. $1 equals 1 pound of trash, and you can donate too. So $50 is gonna hopefully remove 50 pounds of trash from the ocean. I know it's not a lot compared to other YouTubers, but I'm a full-time university student and I try to save wherever I can. A good example is all the camera footage you're seeing was recorded on my Samsung S3, which I bought in 2012. It barely runs, it has almost zero battery and constantly crashes, but instead of buying a new phone, I'd like to spend that budget donating to teamseas.org. I'm gonna donate $50 no matter what, but with every 1,000 likes, I will donate another $50. I know it's not much, but it's what I can afford. So if you don't have any money to donate, just make sure to like and subscribe to the video, and I'll do it for all of us broke people. I'm really honored to be a part of this challenge, and I was referred by a good friend of mine on YouTube. Because of their referral, I was one of the first 500 creators to accept the challenge. As you can see, when I first accepted, the video had under 15,000 views, and at the time of this recording, it's well over 70,000, and I'm sure it's even higher now. So let's work together and keep our oceans, lakes, and rivers clean. Donate at teamseas.org, and make sure to like my video and all the other creators' videos that are participating in this amazing challenge. Without further ado, I introduce to you Aquata, the goddess of the sea. Welcome to Stevoirum. Before we start talking about the goddess of the sea, I think it's a worthy note to check out the God of Nature video I made a few weeks ago. The God of Nature is also a pretty fitting theme as we participate in this hashtag Team Seas challenge, so I'd encourage you to check it out as well. For any of you that are observing the project from YouTube, our server has fully launched since my last video, and we're accepting players from all over the world to play and try out the new origins. Make sure to join the Discord and find out how to join the server there. Today we're talking about the water element. The water element is governed by the goddess Aquata, the lady of water, clarity, and strength. Roam the oceans with your school and search for lost cities of your ancestors. Aquata preaches of clarity but also strength. Defend your oceans, rivers, and lakes with the power of the tides and the strength of the current. All of Aquata's origins are based around aquatic life and thriving underwater. If you choose to worship Aquata, you'll have the choice of becoming a Submerged, the waterborne warrior who is uncontested when it comes to strength under the sea, or you can become the Terrahydron, a jack-of-all-trades style origin with the ability to survive underwater as well as on land. However, this means the Terrahydron lack superiority in either environment. They're decent on land and decent in the water, but they're not amazing at either. The first thing we have to do is talk about the common traits of the water element itself. Common traits are physically tied to the water element or the god, so all of these abilities are kind of like passives for both the Submerged and the Terrahydron. The first common ability that both origins have is Wet Eyes. This is the same as the Merling power, and it basically means both origins have perfect night vision when swimming underwater. I will warn you, it doesn't really work with shaders. So most of the underwater footage, I will have my shaders turned off, but when I'm on land and I can use my shaders, I will have them turned on. So just keep that in mind for the video. The next common ability that both the Submerged and the Terrahydron have is called Like Water. This is another ability the Merling has, and it just makes the player not sink naturally in water. You can just float in the same location. It's a quality of life fix, it's simple enough. The last ability we yoinked from the Merlings is Aqua Affinity. This ability lets all water origins break blocks the same speed underwater as a player would normally be able to break them on land. Again, normally mining is slowed underwater, so this is just a quality of life fix. This ability is the first yellow-coded ability on the list. If you're familiar with the color coding of the Origins mod, you already know what they mean, but just in case you don't, green means the ability is completely positive, there's no drawbacks. Yellow means the ability has some positives, but also some drawbacks, so it's kind of like a 50-50 ability. And if an ability is color-coded red, it just means it is completely a drawback, it's 100% a negative ability. This yellow ability is called Aquata's Gift, which means there's going to be a plus side, but there's also going to be a drawback. Spawn with the sacred weapon of your god, the Trident. The Trident is not given to players on death, it's just given to you for free when you select the origin for the first time. The Trident is your natural weapon, and you are considerably weaker with swords and axes. This is a yellow ability because you get a free Trident and you do way more damage with it, but you also do way less damage with swords and axes. The next couple common traits are all red, which means they all take away from both the Submerged and the Terrahydron and make them more challenging to play. The first red ability is called Conduction. Electric attacks do much more damage to you, similarly to being struck by lightning. This server has a lot of electric origin players, and I've already made a few video guides on the two electric elemental origins. The Electrocutionist and the Sparker can basically wipe out one of these water origins in a couple of hits with their electric abilities, so you want to keep your eye out for them. If you hear thunder outside and it's not raining, you know one of them is close by. The next negative trait is called Wet Hands. Your hands are slimy and wet, making it difficult to hold a shield upright. You can't use bows or crossbows due to your wet hands. Simple enough, easy to understand, let's move on to the final common trait of the water element. The last common trait is called Slippery Skin. Due to your slippery skin, you need to make sure all of your armor fits right. If your armor is not all one material, if it's not all iron, if it's not all diamond or all netherite, you are debuffed with slowness 2 and mining fatigue. This includes things like the turtle helmet or the elytra, so you must be aware when using those. So that's the end of the common traits. Everything I just said will affect both the origins you're going to learn about in this video. Let's get into the first origin of the two, the Submerged. The Submerged are the right hand of Aquata. They have served loyally for hundreds of years deep under the ocean. Although you can hold your breath on land for a short period, your prowess comes from the ocean and the water itself. You are the fastest and the strongest in any underwater environment without question. The Submerged are basically just a juiced up Merling with incredible power while underwater. The Submerged start out with one passive ability called Dry Skin. This passive makes it so they get weakness, slowness, and a small degree of hunger while they're on land. It's not too bad, but it's basically their only downside. As you should know by now, in Stevoirum, every single ability for your origin is unlocked by doing small side quests. You can do them in any order, I'm just reading them from the easiest to the most difficult. The first ability the Submerged can unlock is Aquatic Resolve, and they get this by killing a drowned. This makes it so the Submerged does even more damage when wet. I'm pretty sure it's a massive 25% boost in all damage while you're wet. This obviously includes while you're underwater, but if it's raining outside, the aquatic resolve also works. Fins. This is the next ability, and it's unlocked by crafting a boat, and it basically gives you a massive speed boost to swimming underwater. I think the Merlings from the Origins mod have this as well, but it's pretty simple. That's how it works. Water lungs are unlocked after finding diamonds. This allows the Submerged to store breathable oxygen while underwater. You can store up to 3 minutes of breathable oxygen while you play, and it slowly diminishes while you're outside a source of water. We designed this ability so you're not permanently confined to the water, and you can set out and explore in short bursts. Water Pulse is the first active ability the Submerged have, and it's unlocked after killing a Guardian. This allows the Submerged to shoot out an array of tridents that can hit multiple enemies. If the enemies are hit, Water Pulse will launch them back far away from you. Keep in mind this ability can only be used underwater, but it's extremely powerful to disengage a fight. Last but not least, we have the Submerged Ultimate ability. In Stevoirum, the Ultimate ability is usually the most powerful, and it's obtained after killing the Ender Dragon. The Submerged's ultimate ability is called Aqua Rush. Every 15 seconds, you can rush forward with extreme speeds. You also gain Strength 2 and Regeneration for 15 seconds, so theoretically you can have those buffs up forever. Fitting to theme, of course, this ultimate ability can only be used while you're underwater. So that's all the abilities for the Submerged, but before we jump into the Terrahydron, let me give you some tips and tricks about their playstyle. The Submerged are without a doubt the strongest in the water. With Water Pulse and Aqua Rush, you can engage or disengage from any fight underwater. You also have some of the best abilities for underwater exploration due to your speed and fast cooldown of your Aqua Rush ability. No Origin can challenge you in the water, even your Terrahydron cousin. You are without a doubt uncontested when it comes to underwater power. However, you do need to be careful on land. As I mentioned, water is very weak to lightning, and you can die very quickly if you come across an electric Origin. So if you play smart and just be a little cautious, no one will be able to challenge you, and all your underwater kingdoms will only fall if other Submerged attack you. Let's get into the Terrahydron. Your ancestors began to move from the water to form the front line of Aquata's armies to protect the land around her underwater cities. You are capable of surviving on land and underwater equally, however, this means you're not exactly proficient in either. The Terrahydron starts with 2 passive abilities. The first one is called Aquatic Trade, and it's a negative ability. Aquatic Trade just states that the Terrahydron are not as fast or as strong as your fellow Submerged cousins due to being able to survive on land. This basically means you swim the speed of a human underwater, you don't get any extra strength, and your bonuses don't really help you that much underwater. The next passive that the Terrahydrons start with and don't have to unlock is called Evolved Gills. You start the game by being able to breathe perfectly on land and perfectly underwater. Simple enough. The first ability that the Terrahydrons can unlock is called Slimy Hide. You can unlock this just by simply killing a drowned. Even without wearing armor, your skin provides natural protection. You get 3 permanent armor toughness, not armor, armor toughness. Your skin is also very moist, which means it can't be ignited. You still take damage from fire and you still take damage from lava, you just don't actually get ignited. However, your skin can dry out in hotter biomes, making you weaker, fatigued, and slower. Strong Legs is the next unlockable ability for the Terrahydron, and you can get it by collecting a lily pad. This grants the Terrahydron no fall damage. Simple enough, but this ability was actually made for the Terrahydron's next ability. Heroic Leap. You can unlock this by killing a Guardian. This basically lets the Terrahydron propel themselves forward on land or in water. If you use it on land, you're likely to take fall damage, so that's why you have the Strong Legs ability. Heroic Leap is a great ability for exploring or getting a small burst of mobility while underwater. Finally, the Terrahydron's ultimate ability, Master of None. The Terrahydrons get 2 more maximum hearts. If you remember from the start, Water Origins have penalties to shields, bows, swords, and axes. This ultimate removes those penalties, but it doesn't give you any extra bonuses. This ultimate turns the Terrahydron into basically the ultimate do-anything style origin. They're not amazing at everything, but they're pretty damn good at almost anything. Playstyle. The Terrahydron is really the jack-of-all-trades origin. They're immune to fire, they have pretty good mobility, and they have really good survivability and tankiness. It's pretty much the ultimate beginner origin for Stevoirum. I play the Terrahydron on my Let's Play survival streams, and with the Blacksmith class, you're probably one of the top 3 tankiest origins in Stevoirum. The Terrahydron is very forgiving, and it's a massive counter to the Pyromancer, arguably one of the strongest origins on the server. I mean, all of the Pyromancer damage comes from lighting enemies on fire. How are they going to do that to the Terrahydron? They just can't be ignited. The Terrahydron doesn't have too many crazy upsides, but it also doesn't have too many crazy downsides either. It's without a doubt one of the best origins to get your feet wet in Stevoirum. No pun intended. Please remember to like the video if you'd like to help contribute to Team C's. Every 1,000 likes is another $50 donated to charity. If you're interested in donating yourself, please visit teamcs.org. Links will be in the description and the pinned comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed the water element. Remember to like the video and consider donating to this awesome charity. If you missed the God of Nature spotlight I did, it features the Treant and the Florling, the 2 most popular origins on the server, and it should be on your screen now. Make sure to check it out because trust me, you don't want to miss it. Stay safe, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.